The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on this supersized episode 500 of Skywalking Through Neverland. I would walk 500 episodes.
So much, in fact, that I can now say his name without fumbling. Jordan Norwood.
The track is called KB or Not KB.
This is too much.
Yeah.
And hopefully now the pendulum is swinging back to where people enjoy Star Wars. There's a hidden Mickey.
Hidden Mickey.
You know how I feel about swearing in Star Wars.
Yeah.
The real Gideon is alive. That dead one was a clone.
Oh, that could be.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets love.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Another live-action Star Wars series has come to an end. But how does this compare to the other Star Wars live-action finales? Well, we have broken it down in so many ways. But for right now, let's welcome you all back to
Skywalking Through Neverland.
I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, who got me a lot of fun gifts for my birthday last, Monday, Tuesday, or whatever day it was.
Yeah, we got lots of, it was your birthday week.
It was my birthday, that's why I lost track. And I'll give you a hint as to what she got me, okay? This is going to be a visual hint. Check it out. Oh!
What?
We have a new Death Star wall panel right behind us in the studio.
Oh, but it is majorly Darth Vader today. It's on the dark side.
All right, hold on.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, now it's on the light side. Aw, it's white.
Yeah.
Although I guess the Death Star panels are always on the dark side.
Yes, but they're always white in the movies.
They are always white. So why?
In Return of the Jedi, they were. We can break it all down. Let's do a whole episode on Death Star light panels.
Here, scoot over a tiny bit.
Oh.
There you go. Okay, now there's a fun mode to this, and it's apparently music mode. But if you do music mode, did I do it right? If I do music mode, it responds to what you're saying.
Oh, Now, is this too annoying, seeing this pulse throughout the whole show?
Oh, yeah, it'll be very annoying through the whole show,
Oh, my goodness.
I say it really responds to your voice.
I know, because I have a very loud, booming voice.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's sing with us now. Da, 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 da. Da 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 da. How fun is that?
Awesome. Oh, I love this thing so much.
Okay.
Okay, that was just one of the fun things Sarah got me. And if you come back to things we want to share when we record tonight at 6 p.m., maybe we'll show some more stuff.
Do you like it red or do you
Let's keep it white.
White. Okay.
Yes,
there we go.
We're gonna stay positive.
Okay, Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So it's time for your weekly Wookiee hug. I'm sorry, it's time for your 500th Wookiee hug. And your 500th sprinkle of pixie dust. For our family of Skywalkers. We are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications. That really helps. And we love it when you watch on YouTube because we have so much to show you. As we just described our Death Star wall panel, well, you can see it on YouTube. All right, now, speaking of subscribers, though, we just shot up again. So how many subscribers do we have, Richard?
At this point in time,
on YouTube,
we have boink.
Wow.
9,222. So each week it's going up a substantial amount.
Yeah.
And do you know who we have to thank for that? The Skywalkers.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Sarah, because we went to a big performers showcase a couple of days ago. And
that's right.
You know how we always say, if you're at a big gathering, grab a friend's phone and start hitting subscribe. That's what you did.
I did.
going over to all our friends and, oh, you haven't subscribed? Let me see your phone for a second.
Yeah.
Sarah's going, subscribe.
Boop, boop. Yep. We also climbed on Instagram. We put out a few more reels this week. And so we now have 4,436. That's climbing pretty quick, pretty rapidly. I think that climbed like 20 in the past week. I don't know. It's great.
Yeah.
But,
so our goal.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah, what is our goal?
Okay, our goal, first of all, is 10,000 YouTube subscribers by San Diego Comic-Con in July, and 5,000 followers on Instagram also by July.
Oh, easy.
I think that's good.
Easy.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of little YouTube shorts based on the episodes that we're doing. Taking little, 1 minute chunks out of it.
Yeah, people have short attention spans these days.
Yeah, well, they won't be watching this episode. This is going to be a supersized episode 500 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Now, in this episode, we give our thoughts on the Skeleton Crew season finale, and then we discuss how it stacks up with other live-action finales. So we go over the final confrontations, how these progress the world of Star Wars, and how each finale ends with an opening to a potential follow-up season. And then, of course, we rank the finales in our own special way.
Lots and lots of breakdowns coming your way, but let's come on over here to the Sky Chat, where Skydance Dawn is wishing me a belated happy birthday.
Yay!
As is Kenny Crayley Jr.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Also, Maria, I think she's commenting on our dun 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 dun, dun best villain score ever. Thank you, Maria. Excellent.
Awesome. All right, now, do you know what else is awesome?
What is?
That this episode is being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, or Universal Studios, or a Disney cruise. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Their service is free of charge. Disney pays them, not you. So check it out. We are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on January 21st, 2025. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, let's go back 14 years ago to this date, January 21st, 2011. Cartoon Network airs the episode Witches of the Mist from Star Wars The Clone Wars Secrets Revealed Season 3. And this was written by Katie Lucas.
Yay!
And the fortune cookie to this episode, the path to evil may bring great power, but not loyalty. That could go along with a lot of the season finales that we're about to break down.
Yes, it could. Yeah.
Right now, in this episode, Asajj Ventress and Savage Opress attack Count Dooku, but he gets away. Savage Opress returns to Mother Talzin, who tells him to find his long-lost and exiled brother, who will teach him how to become a powerful warrior. With his mission set, Opress leaves. Talzin then turns to her crystal orb, where a fractured image of Maul materializes.
Oh.
Big moments. We thought we would never see the return of Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, this was part of the arc that was shown at the Clone Wars screening in 2011. I believe, and I'm very, very sure of this, that this kicked off screening Star Wars television at fan events up on the big screen.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then we also had our voice actors there. So, let's see. We had Ahmed Best.
Mm-hmm.
Katie Lucas was there, the writer of this. Matt Lanter was there, voice of Anakin. And Clancy Brown was there as well.
Yeah, we got a chance to meet a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
We met Matt Lanter right outside, and this is back when people didn't really know what he looked like.
Yeah.
Because, now on social media, everyone knows what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, not so much. And we had just seen his film, Vampires Suck.
Yeah.
The Twilight
spoof.
Yeah, the Twilight spoof, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was surprised that we saw that.
Yeah.
And we met Clancy Brown, and he signed something for us and said, this is the first Star Wars autograph that I'm signing. And I told him that he freaked me out because of his role in the 1983 film Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Not the Will Smith Bad Boys, but the Sean Penn Bad Boys.
Oh, see, I always remember him from Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, guess who else was there?
Who?
George Lucas.
Amazing.
Got to shake his hand.
Now, wasn't Dave Filoni also there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Dave Filoni, yes. Wasn't it Lucas's little posse?
But we talked to him a bit too.
Yes, we
I remember
did.
talking with him.
Oh, hold on. Keep on talking.
Yeah. Okay. That was really fun. So, did any of you ever attend any? I think it went around, right?
Yes.
It toured. So, did anybody see this episode arc? I think it was 3 episodes. Let's see. People are saying 500 episodes. What a milestone! And Don Glover, I'm so happy that you're watching Skeleton Crew. Now, once we get into talking about this, we are going to go into spoilers for the finale. So you might want to peace out when we start talking about it very soon. FYI. Oh, okay. What did you find?
Okay. Now, right before the screenings, there were some trivia contests.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, and I answered a question. I forgot what the question was.
Yeah.
And Ashley Eckstein gave me this book.
Aww.
The Star Wars Clone Wars Character Encyclopedia. I knew, I couldn't find it because I just put it somewhere else. It was over there, and now I put it over there for some reason.
Okay.
So now I couldn't find it. But now, yeah, Ashley Eckstein gave me this book. Did she autograph it?
Let's see.
Probably
not.
No.
She didn't write it or anything.
No. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now let's move on because we have a huge discussion coming your way. But before we get into this big discussion, let's hear this message from Glenn Stein about our 500th episode.
Hello, Skywalking Through Neverland. This is Glenn Stein. You may remember me as the Skywalker of the Week, or the first Skywalker of the Month. During another podcast meetup during Star Wars weekends, I was the Rebel Spy. Sorry, Richard. I wanted to congratulate you on reaching 500 episodes. That's a milestone that most podcasts never come close to reaching, and you've made it in 11 years, and we'll say that you probably have done way more than 500 if you count all your episodes, but 500 episodes is really quite an accomplishment, and congratulations. I hope we have 500 more, or more than that. But as a Star Wars podcast, you know what's really important isn't the 500th episode, it's the 501st. So congratulations, and remember, the Force will be with you always.
And also, Corey Orton is saying 500 episodes. What a milestone. Kenny Crayley Jr., super congrats on 500 episodes, Skywalkers. Aw, well, thank you so much, Skywalkers and Glenn. I mean, you took a lot of time with that video, so we really appreciate that. How sweet. And I would watch 500 more.
Hold on. Do it again.
And I would watch 500 episodes, and I would watch 500 more just to be that man who watched 1,000 episodes to knock down at your door. The 7th live-action Star Wars series just ended with Skeleton Crew. We're so excited to not only give you our thoughts on this finale, but also how it compares to other Star Wars live-action TV finales. We had a lot of fun this week watching a lot of Star Wars to research this segment. We watched all 7 finales.
7 plus 2 extra seasons of Mandalorian.
That's right. Yeah, it was really fun.
Now, before we compare and contrast, let's go over The Real Good Guys, the 8th and final episode of Skeleton Crew, directed by John Watts. In this episode, Jod and his pirate crew try to take over At-Aten to gain access to millions and millions of credits. The kids with the help of their parents and New Republic X-Wings, thwart his plans.
Amazing. Now, Skywalker's in the Sky Chat, and we're going to answer this question too. What are your thoughts on this episode?
So, Sarah, kick us off here.
Okay, so I just loved the dynamic of the kids in this episode. Now that they've returned to Atten, they are far more worldly than their parents. They really are, you know, they really have to school their parents on how to save the planet. And I feel like my favorite moment was after the power goes out, KB and Neil come over to Wim's house in their speeder bikes to make plans to save the planet. And Wim's dad is still trying to fiddle with the car power. And meanwhile, Wim, like, he's discussed the plan with the kids. He runs into the garage. He takes his speeder bike and off he goes. And Wim's dad is kind of left. He doesn't even say bye, Dad. He just leaves. And his dad's like, where'd you go? And so his dad steals a speeder from
He steals the
Baj
speeder bike.
Felfa.
Yeah, from Bob Felfa.
Baj? Yeah. It's so funny. Yeah, I just love that moment.
Oh, wouldn't it be awesome if this character was played by Alden Ehrenreich? Because he was played by Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean
in
Baj
American
Felfa.
Graffiti. Yes, yes.
Yeah, got
that
it.
Would be that'd be really funny.
Yeah. And then, of course, you know, this whole episode when Wim's dad says the only way to get power back is through the supervisor's tower. And Wim and the kids don't know how to, you know, restore power. And Wim's like, can you do that, Dad? And Wendell, right?
Wendell, yes.
Wendell says,
Son, you are talking to a level 7 systems coordinator.
oh my God, I feel like this needs to be a t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a level 7 systems coordinator.
Then I need to send it to my dad because that's like the perfect shirt for any engineer. Yeah. It's in my head.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not playing. This is going to be a shirt, okay? I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay. So, Richard, what let's hear some of your thoughts.
All right, now, John Watts, he directed this fantastic season finale. I couldn't even imagine where this was going to go after Jod had threatened to carve up the kids' families.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous episode, yes, like Jod keeps going back and forth. He's very unstable. Will he really do that in a show like this? I didn't think he would, but you never know. You never know. They've been really twisting and turning throughout the whole series. So I was on the edge of my seat. What's he gonna do? But despite all that, despite his deception and becoming a bad guy, I really like the character of Jod Nanawood.
How about his name?
So much, in fact, that I can now say his name without fumbling. Jod Nanawood. Jude Law really brought a lot of dimension to this character, and I've become a fan of Jude Law's. Before, he was just that actor in the Marvels and this and that, but now I'm a fan of this actor because of this, and I can't wait to see how Jod fits in Mandalorian and Grogu.
Ooh.
Oh, we'll know next summer.
Yeah, he is really fun. I love how he says certain things, like when he's saying that about his backstory, about how a Jedi found him in a hole.
Yeah.
And how the galaxy is dark with just little pinpricks of light. The way he says that phrase is amazing.
He really sold this character, and I love him for it. And I'm so glad he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame just a few weeks ago, because after this, he so deserves it. Now, the supervisor was another big surprise. We figured it was some kind of a droid, but once again, there have been so many surprising moments in this series that they could have gone in any direction with this. And I think those higher ups, like Farrah, Fern's mom, and Wendell, Wim's dad, they have spoken to the supervisor, but I don't think they've ever seen the supervisor.
Yeah, I feel like that's up for debate.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Okay, Farrah,
yes,
when she walked into that command center,
yes,
the supervisor was right in front of her, but she didn't acknowledge. She didn't say, "Hey, look, there's a supervisor right over there." She didn't know it was him, but I still think she knew it was a droid, but didn't know what it looked like.
Yeah, and that scene can go one of two ways, because yes, they walked in and she's like, hello,
Yeah,
hello,
exactly, yes.
and she's looking around, but the supervisor droid eye was turned the other direction.
But still, this thing looked like the roof of a Howard Johnson's.
I know.
So you're not gonna miss this. So
Right.
when she's walking in and says hello, she's looking right at it, but she doesn't know it's him. It's him or it.
But she didn't seem that surprised to see he was a droid.
Exactly, because everything is so run by droids on Atten. She knew it was a droid, but didn't know what it looked like.
So usually you think she gets messages interfacing with like an intercom or one of the safety droids.
Yeah, kind of like Charlie in Charlie's Angels.
Why does it always have to be on the phone? Why can't we ever see Charlie?
Good morning, angels.
There's always a voice through an intercom. You never saw Charlie.
Okay.
And I gotta say this, I'm so happy that fans really liked and loved Skeleton Crew, and they didn't pan it just to pan it before they saw it. And hopefully now the pendulum is swinging back to where people enjoy Star Wars.
And I gotta say, we got some great comments here in the Sky chat. So Maria says, Skeleton Crew is the best Star Wars TV series. Awesome. And Bean, also, I do agree, it's the best Star Wars TV series.
Well, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Skywalkers, what do you think? Welcome, Lethal Mullet. I think that's Kevin.
Adam O'Brien.
Oh, nice. Adam.
All the way over there, down under.
Cool.
All right, so do you have any last comments before we move on?
Yes. So I just want to say that the music for this series has been very exciting. And it really harkens back to those 80s movies where, it's kids having an adventure, but the music heightens that adventure more because it is adventurous and exciting. Especially in this episode, you get this huge fanfare for the kids when they're racing through the streets and through the woods on their way to the school to thwart the pirates. And that pirate shanty that we've been hearing in the end credits, that do 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 do.
I love that. I cannot get that out of my head.
I know.
And nor do I want it out of my head.
No, but it was playing big and loud in a huge fanfare when the pirates enter the atmosphere of Atten and like take over. It was so cool.
That shot of the ship coming through the barrier.
Oh, it was so great. Now, I also loved how in this episode the kids saved themselves. That's I think my favorite part. And all throughout this series, that's what they had learned to do is fend for themselves, work together. Like Wim's dad, Wendell, was so surprised when he's like, "You guys can fly this ship?" Oh,
they were acquiring skills all the way up, and it led to these moments where they needed those skills. Yeah, that was funny. Wendell's dad, "You know how to fly this?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Yeah, Dad, hold my blue milk."
Yeah, hold on. Exactly. Now, Neil, though, is so funny with that shot. He loves his baths. Little Neil loves his baths. Now, I suppose I would love baths too if my bathroom had a giant jacuzzi and a skylight.
Do you want a skylight in your bathroom?
No, you really don't.
No, I don't think I do.
But I guess he didn't care.
No.
He had his bubble bath.
Now, speaking of the music, they just released a song digitally or the whole soundtrack?
They released the whole soundtrack. It has 50 tracks on it. By
Mick Giacchino.
Mick Giacchino, who is the son of Michael Giacchino. And Michael Giacchino produced the soundtrack. So he did kind of oversee that part of it. I'm sure he contributed a little bit because I feel like there's definitely some Mike Giacchino-isms in the soundtrack, including some names of songs. You know how he likes to make puns of names? Can I read you some of these? Because they're hilarious. Okay, so one of them, I, Robot Part 1.
That's funny.
Is the name of a track, plus I, Robot Part 2. And then we have Not on Atten Anymore. We have Rock'em Sock'em Robot, which is so funny. The Kids Are Not All Right. Like the kids are all right, right? It's so funny. Up to Na Wood instead of Up to No Good.
This is the funniest thing I've seen in like 13 weeks.
What's this one, Richard?
Crimson Jack's Mad Dash. I put that away because I'm going to want to listen to all of those right now.
School's Out Forever.
School's Out Forever.
And then I have to mention another one. Now, this is when KB's having her breakdown. The track is called KB or Not KB.
This is too much.
Yeah.
This is too much. All right.
It's so great.
That's awesome. All right. Now, let's look at the finale episodes of the other 6 live-action Star Wars series and see how they all stack up. So let's start with final confrontations in all 6, now 7 series.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back to how they were aired. Like, we're going to...
In release order.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about them in release order. So we're going to start with Mandalorian Season 1. So in this finale, Mando, Cara Dune, and Greef Karga, they're trapped by Moff Gideon's troops until IG-11 rides in on a speeder bike with Grogu and turns the tide.
Now,
so what do you think about this final confrontation here?
This is such an old Western-style battle with the good guys being trapped inside the saloon. Then IG-11 shows up as the cavalry and makes short work of all the stormtroopers, all while having Grogu strapped to its chest. This was the equivalent of Han Solo coming in at the last minute in Star Wars and saving Luke.
Yeah, only in this portion, this time, well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, sweeps in.
Han Solo and Chewbacca sweep in, and in this one, IG-11 and Grogu. And they both have a job to do.
Oh, if IG-11 had said Yahoo, that would have really, it would have been perfect. And
that's cute.
It's great that IG-11 is serving both its protocols. It's a protector and a nurse droid.
Yeah. That's so cute.
Awesome. Now, when Moff Gideon emerged from the down TIE fighter at the very, very end, and he's got the dark saber, we all went nuts because this is such a powerful and symbolic weapon. How did he get it?
Now, I remember, if you weren't keeping up with the animated series at this point, you may not have known what this darksaber was. Because
very
this
true.
was its first, I think this was its live action debut.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen it in Rebels the last time we had seen this. And now here it is in live action. But we know the steps it takes to get it. How did he get this? So this end finale was brilliant.
It was very exciting. Yeah, I feel like this finale, like Skeleton Crew, it's a simple story. That first season of Mandalorian was simple. It was about Mando and his kid, right? Or deciding to be a protector or a father. And the Mandalorian world was still small. So I appreciate the simple and clear-cut storyline. You had a monologuing bad guy. You had trapped heroes, and you have to go through this river of lava to escape all of this. And this is also one of the few times in the first season that Grogu used the Force to get rid of all the fire that was surrounding them.
Yeah, he had the force bubble action going.
Yeah, force bubble, and he pushed the fire back onto the fire.
The flame trooper.
Yeah, the flame trooper, exactly. And then he got all tuckered out. Oh, he had to go teepee time. Yeah. So this was really fun, and I think to compare it to Skeleton Crew, it is that kind of a smaller world and simple, which I like.
All right, now let's go to Mandalorian Season 2, where Bo-Katan, Koska Reeves, and Fennec Shand and Cara Dune, they've got to fight their way to Moff Gideon's ship's bridge, and then a special friend arrives.
Oh, this is so cool. Okay, this is, I think, one of my favorite finales out of all the Star Wars TV series, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it more, but I feel like the two moments that really, like, this one is crystal clear in my mind, like, when we were watching it, what our feelings were together when I was watching it. Like, it's just crystal clear. And two moments really stick out. One is when the 4 women run down the bridge of their ship to invade Gideon's ship. And
yeah, he had Bo-Katan,
yes,
Koska Reeves, Fennec Shand,
and Cara Dune.
And
already Fennec Shand is like my favorite because it's Fennec Shand, and yeah. But when they all ran out and all of a sudden it was 4 women just taking control, I was freaking out. And it wasn't like a big deal. It just kind of happened very naturally.
Very genuine.
Yeah.
Unlike the shot in Avengers Infinity War.
Endgame.
Yeah, when all the girls got together. It's like, all right.
Yeah, the camera held on them. Yeah. No, this was just organic.
Yes.
And then, of course, Luke arriving to rescue and take Grogu. And it was very fun how in the monitors of the ship, everyone's watching and you can see an X-Wing. And then you see a cloaked figure. And then you see a lightsaber and a gloved hand. And wow. amazing. So I just thought that was great. And also, Moff Gideon is a little like Thrawn here by thinking ahead 10 steps. He knows that Bo-Katan needs to defeat him to take the Darksaber, so he put himself where Mando would defeat him or not defeat him, but either way he wins. Because Bo-Katan can't take the Darksaber like she wants.
I love it when he said to Mandalorian, to Din Djarin, just assume I know everything.
Yeah, that's right. And in the first season finale, that is where he name dropped everyone. Cara Dune of Alderaan.
Yeah.
He named Din Djarin for the first time.
Yes.
That's where we got Mando's actual name.
Yes, because he was an ISB officer.
Yep.
So he had access to all the records. Loved it.
Ooh, yeah, and Glenn is saying, as to the reveal of Luke, first you see the lightsaber, but it's in black and white on that monitor. Then you get to see that it's green.
Yeah, and then that shot where Luke is swinging his lightsaber, you see the hilt, which you identify as the one in Return of the Jedi, and that big silver belt buckle.
Yeah.
When I saw that's when I knew it was Luke by his belt buckle.
Nice.
Now for me, this one really, really grabbed me, and it never let go. There was the relentless Dark Troopers. Gideon holding Grogu prisoner with the Darksaber held over his head. Oh my goodness. Then, just like in Season 1, the lone cavalry comes as Luke Skywalker. Biggest shocking moment since I Am Your Father. No one expected this. This is the warrior Mark Hamill wanted Luke Skywalker to be.
Well, if you think about it, this is where we all wanted to see Luke and Leia in their prime. We had all those books that really got me into Star Wars that followed Luke training Jedi and Leia being part of the New Republic and all of this. And so in our collective minds, we wanted to see this. And we got to see it. It's wish fulfillment of 40 years.
Oh, very much so. Okay, Skywalker's Academy in Sky Chat is saying, one X-Wing? Great, we're saved.
Who says that?
I think Cara Dune says that. that was funny.
That was really funny.
All right, now let's move on. Oh, another thing. I love connections, like where certain characters meet. So now when we see Luke Skywalker in like The Force Awakens or any of the sequels, like, oh, that's Luke. He knows Grogu. He knows Din Djarin. He knows Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
And then R2-D2 knows Grogu. And I just love those character connections.
I wonder, R2-D2 could have met Grogu before.
You're right.
In the temple.
At the Jedi Academy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to the Book of Boba Fett. All right, now here we have Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, and Din Djarin and their posse, and they've got to fight the crime gangs in Mos Espa with the help of a rampaging Rancor.
Yeah. So, Richard, what did you think of this? We just finished watching this one, by the way.
Yeah. This battle has so many layers. It's a great Old West fight mixed in with some King Kong when the Rancor got to the top of that building and hanging on by one arm. Oh, I love me some King Kong. I love all things monkeys. The monkeys, Planet of the Apes, King Kong.
You really do.
Yeah, and Din Djarin and Boba Fett, they had a very clear personal objective: honor. Honor to your friend in need, and honor to help the people you swore to protect. This was a very high stakes battle, but you're going to hold to your honor.
Right. I did like one of my favorite moments in this episode was a quiet moment when Boba Fett and Din Djarin are talking, deciding what to do. And Boba Fett is assuming that Din is just going to leave because this is not his fight.
Yeah, he said, this is only going to end one way. So if you want out, you can go.
Yeah, he assumed that Din would leave. And Din's like, no, this is part of the creed, is I've given you my word, and my word is my bond, and this is the way, basically. And he's like, oh, you still abide by that ancient religion kind of a thing? And Din says, this is the way.
I love honor.
Yeah.
I love me some honor.
It's nice. And Fennec has a lot of cool scenes in this episode, and I love her outfit. I love the actress. And they finally took her advice for once. She said, because throughout the whole series, I remember being annoyed. Like, she would give Boba Fett advice and he'd do the opposite.
Right.
And they finally took her advice to, like, come together. So I was like, okay, finally. Oh, and we also get to see Scorpineck droids.
Oh, the big
Those
droid deckers.
Yeah.
The next evolution of droid deckers.
Right, right.
When you get technology versus nature, like we had in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
And here you have the big scorpion droids and the Rancor. That fight was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, Grogu comes out and just, you go to sleep now. You go to sleep. And you know what? I'll go to sleep right next to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We'll both cuddle.
He falls over, poop.
That was just one of the cutest, best moments ever, to see something so big and ravenous, and something so small and cute like Grogu, and they're just sleeping side by side. Oh.
Adorable.
All right, now let's get into Mandalorian season 3, and here we have Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, Grogu. We have Mandalorian remnants, flying stormtroopers, and a battle that just seemingly would never end.
Yeah, and this is on the planet of Mandalore, where Moff Gideon has basically taken over the inner area and made it his base. And it was so exciting. I love how Moff Gideon really leans into the bad guy thing again. Again, here he is monologuing and summarizing his plan to use Force-sensitive clones of himself to create the ultimate army. So in the previous season 1, he just had regular troopers. In season 2, he was the big bad, and he had what are those called?
The Dark Troopers.
The Dark Troopers. Is that what they're called? Yeah. And they were robots. And then here, now he was going to use clones of himself to be
to form an army.
To form an army, yeah.
And injected with Grogu's blood, so now they're Force sensitive.
And he had Beskar armor. So everything keeps leveling up, right? And it's really cool. So I love that. Also, these finales are very much linked. All the finales names start with an R. Mando season 1 is called Redemption. Season 2, The Rescue. Season 3, The Return. So cute. Also, these series chronicle the journey of the Darksaber. So in the first finale, we see that Gideon has it. In the second one, we see that Mando fights Gideon and defeats and takes the Darksaber, so now it's his. And in this third one, Bo-Katan uses the Darksaber to fight Gideon, but then he destroys it. And this ultimately shows that really it's the person and not the Darksaber that leads the people of Mandalore. So it kind of comes this full circle journey.
Moff Gideon, he showed he's up there with the best Star Wars villains. His long-term game of, like you were saying, creating this army of himself and injecting it with Force blood. This didn't happen overnight. He took the Palpatine route of, I'm going to play this out very slowly. It's going to happen when it happens. Then Din comes and messes it all up. He presses that big red button and they all just explode.
Yeah, how many were there? Like 8 or 10?
Yeah.
Of these Gideon clones? Yeah. Whoa.
Then the great fight scene with Din battling the Praetorian troopers, and in comes Grogu and just kind of throws them around like Yoda did to Palpatine's red royal guards.
Yes.
Very reminiscent of that. So just seeing Grogu step in there and help when he can.
And also, he didn't get sleepy time this time.
No?
He's learned to use the Force much more.
He's
been training.
You're throwing around Praetorian troopers, not like it's a Rancor.
Yeah.
So this is like, this is easy. This is right up my alley. Grogu then saves Din and Bo-Katan by creating another Force bubble, like he did in episode 1, the finale, when the flame trooper is flaming them and he's creating that Force bubble to protect them. And then the light cruiser comes crashing down and destroys Moff Gideon's base. You know, he took a long time to fix up and populate this base on Mandalore with his troopers, with his clones. and then
all
the light
destroyed.
the light cruiser comes down and just crashes right through it like the Executor in Return of the Jedi, just piercing into the Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. So these are fantastic season finales. But now there's more. Let's get into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So we're going to leave the Mandoverse for a second, go back in time to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now this is when, in this final confrontation, there's cross-cutting between this awesome lightsaber duel of Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, and also Reva's hunt for Luke Skywalker at the Lars homestead. So, Richard, what do you think about this one?
Not only was the battle between Jedi and Sith exciting, but the rocky location was perfect for the jagged relationship between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, the two who were once so synced up. They were brothers. They were brothers in arms, fighting side by side, protecting each other during the Clone Wars. And now their jagged relationship really is symbolic in this jagged, rocky planet where the lightsaber battle took place.
I also feel that it's very important that, you know, they talk at the end of the battle when Obi-Wan has cut his helmet off and he sees part of Anakin's face. And
it was very sympathetic.
Yes.
Yeah, to see Darth Vader, this demonic bad guy who just crushes throats and throws people into his lightsaber, this demonic bad guy. It was a very sympathetic moment when he was beaten so badly.
And he's like gasping for breath. That sound always gets me. So I feel like Obi-Wan at that point blames himself for what Darth Vader is, what Anakin has become, basically. But here in this moment, Vader says, "You didn't kill Anakin. I did." And that, for some reason, that's like a release for Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan can kind of let go a little bit. And that's what the first time he calls him Darth.
Yeah. Then my friend is truly dead, Darth. Yeah, it's like Anakin's giving Obi-Wan an out by saying, "You didn't kill me, I did."
Yep.
But I think really it's Darth Vader not wanting to give Obi-Wan the credit. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
So when you see Vader versus Obi-Wan on the Death Star in Star Wars, you think, is this the first time they've met since Revenge of the Sith? But no, there was another battle. Now, I just got to say, Obi-Wan, you've accepted the fact that he's now Darth Vader. Anakin is gone. So maybe just like kill him.
Kill him, save a lot of people in the galaxy.
We don't condone killing, but yes, you could have helped millions of people survive.
Yeah.
But I know it was very. I'm sure he even maybe saw a little sliver of light.
Yeah, but I do have to bring up one more thing in this season finale, how it ends. Obi-Wan goes and visits Leia on Alderaan and brings her Lola, the droid, back because she had given it to him to help him. And then in that meeting,
it was his service comfort droid.
Yeah, exactly. And in that meeting, he tells her how much that she reminds him of the qualities of her mother, Padme, and the qualities of her father, Anakin. And he knows both of them, very well. And so that part, plus the Leia's theme playing right there, always gets me into tears. I love it.
All right, Bean in the Sky Chat says there are people that think Obi-Wan facing Vader in this show breaks canon, but it doesn't. No, it doesn't break canon.
No.
How does it break canon?
I think some of the lines they say, but
yeah, when Vader says to Obi-Wan on the Death Star,
"When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master."
So I guess that breaks continuity a little bit, but you know what? We'll give him a little leeway.
Yeah, exactly. We have to wave it away.
All right, so now let's move on to Andor.
Okay. This finale. Andor really had like 3 different finales within the whole thing.
They had their
4.
story.
Yeah, story arcs, exactly.
And here, the people of Ferrix, they're fighting the Empire. This is our planet. You get out of here. You leave. You take off. And everyone is after Cassian Andor. The Empire wants Cassian, and so does Luthen, who was there primarily to kill him. But in the end, he joins up. He says, "Kill." Andor says to Luthen, "Kill me or take me in."
Yeah.
And it ends with Luthen's smile.
Mm-hmm.
But
and all of this is surrounding Marva's funeral.
Yes,
Marva being
yes.
Andor's
mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Adopted
how does
mother.
it really end with the tag? You see what Cassian and Kino Loy and everyone were building when they were held captive. They were building the big super Death Star dish.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so now what are your thoughts about the Andor confrontation?
This finale was amazing. You know, you have Marva, who after death wants to lift people up, and by doing that, she tells everyone. Her speech is amazing. You know, like her speech. I've been asleep. I wish I was awake for longer, because then I could see the insidiousness of this empire taking over our town. And once you're awake, then it's time to rise up. And F the Empire, she says. Or fight the Empire at the end. Yeah.
I'm so glad they changed that.
Yeah, me too.
You know how I feel about swearing in Star Wars.
Yeah. And the poeticness of Cassian's friend taking the brick that Marva has turned into and like just hammering troopers with it. Oh my God.
Somewhere up there, Marva is smiling.
Yes. Yes, that was pretty incredible. So and now I do have to say that my dad and some other people included watched through episode 6 of Andor. And episode 6 of Andor is the Eye, where the rebels
the Aldhani
escape.
heist.
Yeah, the Eye of Aldhani, and they escape with the payload. And they thought that was the finale, so they stopped watching.
But the little screen pops up. Go to next episode.
I know. Well, when it was first out. I think my dad has since watched the whole thing.
Okay.
But like he stopped at that for a while. He was like, I'm satisfied.
That's funny. All right, Scott Bauman says here in the Sky Chat, Andor's finale was a masterclass in tying up several threads of one season-long story arc. The writing and directing by Tony Gilroy is just wonderful on Andor.
And then, of course, you got the band. The band of the town. The Daughters of Ferrix and the band playing that mournful tune. Stone and sky, stone and sky. Just incredible. Just such world building there, right?
Yeah. Now, for me, I love this because this wasn't a space battle. It wasn't Jedi versus Sith. This was a fight for right. And I consider that funeral march some of the best Star Wars music ever. And it really punctuated the personal fight to protect the planet from the Empire. And Marva's speech, like you were saying, it just tightened this community even tighter.
Mm-hmm.
It just really, really tightened them all to everyone band together. We've got to fight this Empire. The odds are not in our favor, but we must do it. And you rooted for the people of Ferrix the same way because they were protecting their planet, the same way you rooted for the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. We need to protect Endor. We don't care if this is a big technological force. We're going to protect our home with our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Yeah. Jeff is saying that it was great how that theme, the Andor theme, got progressively more complex up to the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jeff, are you talking about the opening theme music when the Andor logo would come up? Because it did change each time.
Yeah, because he did say they followed that up from episode to episode.
Yeah. Yes. So, like, each time that theme came up, it did get more complex, except the finale episode, that theme was played by the band.
Oh.
Remember? The band, Marva's funeral band.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, now let's get on to Ahsoka.
Okay. This finale, Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra try to board Thrawn's Star Destroyer before the whole thing leaves Peridia and basically leaves them in another galaxy, not the Star Wars galaxy. Night troopers come back to life after they had defeated them. Oh my gosh. And then Thrawn and Ezra end up switching galactic places with Sabine, Ahsoka, Baylan Skoll, and Shin Hati, who are now all stuck on Peridia, each with their own path. Wow.
Can't wait for season 2.
Oh, and of course we have to talk about the Great Mothers as well. The Great Mothers brought those night troopers to life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The Witches of Dathomir?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, now, this one here, this was a race against the clock. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra, they've got to stop Thrawn before he jumps into hyperspace into that main Star Wars galaxy, and they're very close. They're in the hyperspace ring. They just need to punch that button, and off they go. So this was the race against the ultimate clock. And those creepy night troopers, oh, when they fall, they're like Michael Myers. They sit right back up again. When they turn into zombies, that took things to a whole new level. And there were so many sitting on the edge of your seat moments. Like, you don't know if Ezra makes it onto Thrawn's Star Destroyer, because he jumps, but they show a long shot and he misses.
Right.
But
he goes
then
out of sight.
He pulls himself up with the Force, up into Thrawn's Star Destroyer, and then you assume that he's going to pull Sabine on with him. Did he? I don't know. But a few seconds later, you see Ahsoka being beaten by the enemy.
And Morgan Elsbeth.
Then Sabine shows up. Once again, the lone cavalry. So we know that Sabine didn't go join Ezra under the Star Destroyer. She stayed behind to help Ahsoka, because she looked behind earlier and saw that, Ahsoka, she's not doing too well in this battle.
Right.
So I've got to help her. And she came back to once again to help her friend.
And if you remember, Huang said, you guys are better together. Don't split up.
Oh, good point.
And they did earlier in the series, and that's, it caused issues. So now it's like Sabine can't leave her master.
Mm-hmm. I think this is the only finale where we lose a major character. We lose Morgan Elsbeth.
But isn't the finale Mando season 3? Didn't we lose Moff Gideon? I would assume.
I don't.
What do you guys think?
I don't believe we lost Moff Gideon in season 3.
I think we did, because now Thrawn is back. Thrawn is going to take Moff Gideon's place in the Mandoverse.
Okay, yeah, that would make a whole lot of sense. But I think in the beginning, he's gonna be like Count Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. He's gonna show up for a few moments and then get killed.
I think he had his death.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, Skywalkers?
Okay, I don't believe he did. It could go either way.
Okay, somehow Gideon returned, says Jeff. Okay, I'm just saying.
So once again, let us know in the comments in this show's post on social media, because I'd love to know who thinks what.
Okay, Bean says, I think Gideon is dead.
Okay.
I think he's dead.
All right, hold on. Scott Bauman is bringing up a good point in the Sky Chat.
Okay.
The real Gideon is alive. That dead one was a clone.
Oh, that could be, Scott. I mean, yeah. Very true.
Oh, I hope that's the case.
Skywalker's Academy weighing in. No body, no death. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. Nice.
Wait. Let's go to Scott. Hold on.
Okay.
Because he's talking about Gideon. I think the key indicator of which Gideons are clones is the mustache. There are differences in the mustaches. Ooh. Wow, Scott, you paid a lot of attention.
To mustaches.
I did not. I applaud you. All right, so in the Ahsoka season finale, I just have to mention that Thrawn, he really doesn't do any fighting at all. But he knows how to manipulate the people around him to do the fighting for him. And he thinks 10 steps ahead. When the troopers are like, oh, Ahsoka and Sabine, they're out in the wilderness. They're never going to find him. And he's like, send out the cavalry, cause a bombardment. Like, they're coming. Because he knows Ahsoka's master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I have to say this is the best use of classical music with the Dance Macabre theme reference of those do, 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 do. The notes that happen when the night troopers are coming back to life.
Ezra.
Yeah.
We got to watch that again, because I love that Dance Macabre. Let's move on to the Acolyte.
Okay.
All right, Saul versus Chimere, Osha versus Master Saul. Where does this all go?
Well, here a major character is killed off.
Very true.
Osha, who's the good twin or sister or whatever she is, kills Master Soul, who had formerly taught her. this is some of the coolest fight choreography. That Soul versus Keimer battle in the clearing, juxtaposed with May and Osha, who are fighting each other, and like their legs cross, and then all of a sudden it cross cuts to the lightsabers being crossed of Soul and Keimer. Like, that's amazing.
You call that a match cut?
Yes, the match cut. I loved that. And when Osha, who is the former Jedi, learns that Soul, her teacher, killed her mother, she's so angry that she kills him Vader style. And we finally learn what it means to kill without a weapon.
And we should have seen that coming, too.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
We've had 40-some-odd years of killing without a weapon.
Exactly.
With Darth Vader force choking.
And then we see that blue kyber crystal bleed red in live action. Now, I bet that's happened in comics before, but we have not seen that in live action. And it was neat. And when she ignited the lightsaber and it went from blue and like turned red up the blade.
Oh.
That was a neat moment.
They have to sell that at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I'm sure some lightsaber builders have already made that. The lightsaber that turns from blue to red, or maybe red to blue.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, you can get a saber like redone, the inside, the guts of it, a Galaxy's Edge lightsaber, and have it redone by professionals guys who then you can change it any color you want.
Oh, right.
And you can have it like sing, and you can have it do all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, droid builders and lightsaber builders. You've really taken things to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jeff says he knows why they killed off Master Soul in the Acolyte. He had to return to the Squid Game galaxy.
Indeed.
All right, now there have been lots of great lightsaber battles. I think the pinnacle is Obi-Wan versus Maul in Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
But this one here, I think I would even say rivals that.
Oh.
The Saul versus the Stranger is perfect. I love this so much. The Matrix style duel that took the two all over the castle. Then Osha learns that Saul killed her mother and killed him with a force choke, like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a big key moment that she didn't use the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
But then she takes Master Saul's lightsaber, and that's when it turns from blue. You can see the crystal inside bleeding, and the blade bleeds red. So much great lightsaber work in this, and I really like the way that Master Saul uses his lightsaber. I don't know what you would call it, but the way he just maneuvers with it, the way he moves with it, I haven't ever seen from another Jedi. It's kind of like the way Ahsoka has her own style of moving with her lightsabers. He's got his very own way. And Keimer, the Stranger, just the way he just goes nuts. There is no tact in what he does.
Right.
There's no routine. He just goes ballistic. The dark side just takes over him, and he just slashes and swipes. And that last battle was just, once again, perfect. I loved it.
Crazy fun action in Acolyte, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I do have to say that there was moments in this finale, especially just coming in and watching the finale after not watching the rest of the season for a year or so. It was confusing. Who is Osha? Who is May? They really needed to change up their hairstyles so you could see in a glance what was the difference, because here they were wearing each other's outfits. So you had to keep on figuring out, okay, wait, that's the good one. That's the bad.
We had to pause it a few times.
Yeah. And it was confusing. So, yeah, that was my main issue with this Acolyte finale. Now, Bean is bringing up, I never saw Acolyte, but don't like how the Jedi are portrayed. Now, I do think you have an interesting point. I do feel like if you really want to talk about it, you should at least watch it just to have an opinion, form it yourself. Now, I do feel that, yes, the Jedi, one of the things about the Acolyte is it's kind of sowing the seeds of the Jedi Order not being good. You know, they're doing cover-ups.
Yeah, a lot of cover-ups. And it really echoes what Luke was saying in The Last Jedi about their hubris.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so this is like sowing the seeds of that, and definitely, we're going to talk a little bit later about what each series brings to what their meaning is, the heart of each series, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, if you're a Jedi purist, maybe not watch this, but I would definitely recommend watching this
Watching
just
it
to
so
understand.
you have, yeah.
It's like those who master the Force. Some would say it's good to master both sides, not just one. That's really being unbalanced.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jeff brings up a huge point that I always thought of in The Acolyte. You'd think that one of them, Mayor Osha, would have chosen a different hairstyle sometime over the years they were separated. Yes. That is absolutely it.
That's right.
It would be one thing if they had like Togruta tails or something where they couldn't change their hairstyle. Yeah. But the fact that they were exactly the same length. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, now let's wrap up this category with Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
So here on At-Atten, Jod brings the kids and Wim's dad and Firm's mom up to the supervisor. And Jod destroys the droid supervisor and holds everyone captive until the Republic X-Wings destroy Jod's ship and comes crashing down to the planet's surface. Like all mysteries, this finale ties everything up.
Yeah.
And I just love the way they did it. They didn't leave a couple of things hanging, forcing Disney Plus to do a season 2 because that doesn't work.
Nope.
Not whatsoever. And we learn what the deal is with At-Atten, and will it be held captive by the pirates? Is Jod good? Is he bad? What connection does he have to the Jedi Order? The whole series, we were thinking about these mysteries and how will they tie them up, and will it be satisfactory? And I would say yes, very, very much so. And in the end, I know we kind of had a little trouble with Jod just saying, okay, I'm beaten, and that's it, and that's that. But watching it again, it does make sense. The pirate ship is crashing down. Wim has got the lightsaber. There's nowhere for him to go.
He doesn't have any help either. All the pirates are defeated.
Yeah.
So even he was in that control room with 4 of the good guys there. He couldn't keep tabs on all of them. He was in over his head.
And he could have used the Force to force choke or maybe thrown around big pieces of debris at people and kill them. But like he said, I don't want to hurt anybody.
No, and I think that's the main reason why he threw down his weapon. He knew he didn't want to kill anyone. Also, I feel like he has the same command over the Force that like someone who practiced piano like me a long time ago lapsed after 10 years and hasn't really practiced. All I can play is like 2 songs. So like all he can do with the Force is do a couple things. He doesn't have mastery over a bunch of the Force. He can float things in the air. And he can push and pull people, but not very strong because he doesn't keep up the practice.
Even if he could possess that kind of level of talent, don't think he would have.
No. Yeah. So obviously we've talked about the Skeleton Crew finale in detail. So I feel like let's move on to some other compare and contrast of these Star Wars series.
All right, now you can't have a Star Wars series without a droid counterpart. Or can you?
Oh.
Now, in The Mandalorian, we have IG-11, who turns into IG-12.
When Grogu is, like, in him?
Yes.
Right?
In his torso, using him as, like, a big walker.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Then he turns back to IG-11 to be the Marshal of Navarro.
Yes.
So, there's the droid counterpart for The Mandalorian. Book of Boba Fett doesn't really have one.
Yeah, would the mods be considered droids?
No, that wouldn't really be considered as a droid
No, 'cause they're
counterpart
not...
the way R2 or 3PO
Yeah.
is, or IG-11.
Okay.
Obi-Wan has who?
Lola! I have a little necklace of Lola. I love Lola. Her little flaps come up and all of a sudden it's little mouse. Oh, look at this. And the flaps come up, boop, boop, boop. All of a sudden you have mouse ears. Yeah, look at her.
Look, there's a hidden Mickey.
Hidden Mickey. And in fact, the opening of that finale to Obi-Wan, they flash through all the different faces and helmets and droids, and Lola's flaps are up, and it's a hidden Mickey right there. It's so cute.
Okay, Jeff in the Sky Chat is saying that when IG-12 turns back into IG-11 to be the Marshal, he should have been IG-13.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Yeah. All right, Andor has got B2EMO or
B.
B.
Oh my goodness, B.
When I first saw B in the promo pics, like he's a fire hydrant.
Right.
But then he talks. He speaks.
I don't want to be alone. I want Mama Marva.
And he gets all emotional and all depressed. Oh, you're leaving again. That's what you said before. Oh.
Jeff is saying in the Sky Chat, Boba has that robot-looking droid in his palace kitchen.
Oh, the rabbit-looking droid.
Not
Yeah.
Really a counterpart main character.
No. Yeah, see, Scott's bringing up the point that I kind of think, does Cyborg Fennec Shand count as a droid counterpart?
I would say no.
She's a person.
Not like B. And Ahsoka has got Huang.
Which, he's the one who says,
a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
And all of our collective goosebumps
Nostalgia.
popped up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness.
All right. An Acolyte.
Pip, which is like the droid that is
the Swiss Army knife.
Yes! What a cool idea for a droid.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually works. And I remember the actress saying how after a scene, they'd take it out of her hands right away because it was like so expensive to build and make that like the droid people would be like, okay, protect. Must protect.
Then I compare you with Menla Stenberg.
Oh, me?
Yes, because I can't let you hold this original
you
classic
mean this
Marvel
one?
Star Wars comic because you don't know how.
This one?
See, no. All right. See, put your hands away.
Okay.
And then
Skeleton Crew. We get SM33, Smee.
Wait.
They never call him Smee. They just call him 33.
No, but
yeah.
does he return in the finale? Yes, he
yes,
does.
Yes.
Because KB is holding his head
Uh-huh.
while she pilots the ship.
And he talks. So, and then at the end, I think he's holding his own head. It's so funny.
So cute.
Oh.
All right, now, how do these finales progress the world of Star Wars?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's get back to The Mandalorian. And I feel like each finale made the world bigger. This is what you're supposed to do in storytelling. You're supposed to establish your world. This is like what Harry Potter does, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then each successive thing, book or series, the world gets bigger. So, you know, we talked about the Darksaber being reintroduced into Star Wars media in episode 1. Or I guess the finale 1.
Mm-hmm.
Finale 2, who returns?
Luke Skywalker.
That's right. And then finale 3, all of a sudden you have the whole Mandalorian returning to the galaxy and becoming a force to be reckoned with because they realize that Mandalorians are stronger together, not infighting.
Mm-hmm. So that really develops those characters as well.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of season 3, Din adopts Grogu, and they name him Din Grogu, which no one ever calls him. And the armorer tells them that they have got to go out and seek their own journeys.
Oh.
Which will lead into Mandalorian season 4 and the Mandalorian and Grogu film.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the book of Boba Fett has left his bounty hunter ways behind because he is in the position now of a crime lord of Jabba's territory. And this makes a whole lot of sense with Boba Fett's character. I know everyone wanted to see him back as the bounty hunter, but him wanting to be a crime lord just makes so much more sense. And unlike Jabba, to progress from what we've seen from Jabba the Hutt, Boba Fett is going to rule without fear. He's going to be one with the people. But, you know, Tatooine being Tatooine and crime lords being crime lords, you know, the peace will be very short-lived. And who's going to come for him next?
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this finale had kind of a smaller stakes because it only deals with Tatooine and who controls Mos Espa and Freetown. But overall, this series, they were able to drive the Pike Gang and the spice trade off of Tatooine. So that's a very important point. The spice trade is now off of Tatooine because the spice traders, the Pikes, are like, oh, this is too big of a problem here to deal with this planet, so we're gonna go somewhere else.
Even though it makes a whole lot of sense to go through Tatooine, but hey, we've been beaten time and time again.
So I feel like Boba Fett and Fennec Shand will be in charge of this, especially for possibly the movie coming up, Mandalorian and Grogu, and like this is a planet or an asset for use later in these TV series or movies coming up. So maybe in the film, we will see Din Djarin reach out to Boba Fett and Fennec for help, like they reached out to him. I could see that happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff says in the Sky Chat, I wish Jennifer Beals' character had survived.
So sad.
Did we ever see a body?
We didn't.
It's pretty much clear cut that she's gone.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Max Rebo called in sick that day.
Yes. Okay, now Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Did this series have
did it progress?
Progress the world of Star Wars?
Oh, very much so. This does because we have Qui-Gon leading Obi-Wan into the next phase of his Jedi training.
That's true, at the very end.
Yes.
But otherwise, it kind of fills in gaps in the Star Wars lore.
Very much so, yes.
Versus progress it.
If this were just a one series, one and done, it would make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see more. I definitely want to see more. So I think that Obi-Wan is going to up his training through Qui-Gon.
Well, definitely, because he has to learn how to
communicate
through the Force, which is then how he helps Luke.
Yes. Communicate as a Force ghost.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, Andor.
Okay, well,
we're gonna see this continuation in season 2 coming up in 3 months.
Yeah,
and also in Rogue One.
But I love how Andor displayed Ferrix as an example of this little pocket of discord in the Empire-controlled galaxy that will only grow into the spark that lights the fire of the rebellion. And you're going to see it all over. As in Nemec's manifesto mentions that, these little pockets of discord are happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm. All right, now in Ahsoka. Oh, Thrawn can now bring back the Empire. Once we thought the Empire was gone, well, now Thrawn, he's the one to bring it back. And I love this progress.
Yeah, do we feel that Thrawn will be kind of the big bad of the Mandalorian and Grogu film?
Yeah. Well, first it's going to be Moff Gideon, then Thrawn will come take it over.
But Moff Gideon is dead.
I don't know. I think that when Thrawn returns to the main galaxy, he's going to form up this new empire.
Right. Well, that's
We're still about 15 years away from The Force Awakens, but the First Order it's building and building and building.
Okay.
So maybe this is going to progress this storyline because maybe Thrawn meets up with some of the Shadow Collective and then they form all their sources together to form the First Order. Mm-hmm. So he joins forces with the Hux family. Maybe Snoke has a big part. Snoke is really focusing on Kylo Ren, on Ben Solo. So I think this new empire that Thrawn is forming is going to evolve into the First Order.
Okay, now here is something I'm going to put out to all of you Skywalkers. Do we think that they're going to retcon the sequel trilogy and just make it go wherever they want it to go? They could. Dave Filoni's the new head of story. Maybe he wants the story to go somewhere else. Bean is saying that the sequel should be decanonized. No. It's a possibility. I'm just saying.
No. Disney would never allow that because everything is all canon. If you start decanonizing things, it's going to be a mess. So, no, that's never going to happen.
But wouldn't you think it would be fun to tell Star Wars stories that don't necessarily have to link to each other? I mean, Star Wars Visions
yes, that
does
would be great to do like a standalone, like a one-shot comic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. Is it going to happen with films? No, because it would be way too confusing.
Interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, Scott is also mentioning how in Ahsoka, Baylan Skoll is rushing headlong into a Mortis confrontation. Talk about continuing Star Wars lore.
Good point. Good point. Because we see Baylan, and he's standing on that ledge, and right behind him, you see the rock face father, and right beside him is the son, and on the other side is
the daughter has crumbled.
Yeah. The figure has been destroyed.
Yes, because she actually died in the Mortis trilogy.
Yes.
She gave her life for Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's a great way. That's another good point there, Scott.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. The Acolyte. Gee, I wonder how
what's
will
going to happen?
Season finale, how will it progress Star Wars in so many ways? Osha joins the Stranger, or Chimere. At this point, he's Chimere, to forge a way for their own dark side path. Not a Sith, but their own dark side path. And what is up with Darth Plagueis? And how does he fit to this time period? Was he training Chimera? Did Chimera even know that he was in that cave? And Vanestra Rose, her cover-up, and throwing her friend Saul under the bus and saying, yeah, to the council and to the Senate, yeah, it was this rogue Jedi. This rogue Jedi had gone and killed these witches, and Nane took his own life.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. First of many cover-ups.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry for the Jedi purists out there who want to believe they're the good guys, but I don't think they are anymore.
All right, now in Skeleton Crew, I mean, this really is its own story. I mean, in this series specifically, we don't see how it changes the galaxy. However, now the whole galaxy knows about At-Aten and its 1,139 rooms of credits. So how will this affect the galaxy? Will we get major inflation? We don't know.
That's how inflation works, so yeah. I would say yes. So there's nothing but speculation at this point, but the kids of At-Aten now have a choice where they can have a life outside of At-Aten. They don't need to stay inside and be a systems analyst.
Exactly. Yeah, Wim.
Yeah. And will Wim join the Rebel Alliance? I think so. I think yes. And maybe because of Wim joining the Rebel Alliance, will the At-Atens, their fortune, be used to fund the Rebel Alliance and maybe later on the Republic, which maybe some of that fund will go to the Resistance. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of that At-Aten money is already spent.
Possibly.
Yeah. Now, each finale left that little springboard of how they can open up to a new season. Mm-hmm. Right, like with Mandalorian, season 3, there was when they were down at the living waters on Mandalore, and Grogu looks down into the water. The camera goes down into the depths, and it awakens the Mythosaur. That's that one moment. So that's what we want to focus on right now. What is that one moment that says, okay, Disney Plus,
there's more to there's more to this story.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in Mandalorian, and in that season 3, it's the Mythosaur awakening.
Okay. Now, what about Book of Boba Fett?
Book of Boba Fett, they've got a tag. Not many of the Star Wars series have tags, but in the Book of Boba Fett, Cobb Vanth awakens in Boba Fett's Bacta-pod.
And we thought he was dead because he had that shootout with
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, yeah.
Yeah. Now, why are they bringing Cobb Vanth back? There must be a reason. Mm-hmm. Jeff says, more Cobb. Needs to be a t-shirt.
I feel like corn. All right, Obi-Wan at the very end. Qui-Gon appears to Obi-Wan and tells him they have a ways to go. And Obi-Wan's like, finally, you're here.
Well, took you long enough.
Beginning to think you'd never come.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just were not ready to see. Come on, you've got a ways to go.
I love that Qui-Gon is like, oh, I've been here all along. You just weren't ready to see me. That's so great.
Yeah. So season 2, for a while there, I never wanted a season 2 because where do you go? Mm-hmm. Because he's already met and clashed with Darth Vader. But now, seeing him, I could watch a whole season of he and Qui-Gon training.
Yeah.
All right. And Andor, Andor has finally committed to Luthen's rebellion cause. And the people of Ferrix are awake to the oppression of the Empire.
Yep.
In the Empire, they don't leave without a fight. But how will they leave Ferrix?
Like Marva says, Andor finally, he feels all he needs to feel, and he has all the skills, mm-hmm. right? Now he just has to put it together to fight. Mm-hmm. And in Ahsoka, well, Thrawn is returning to Dathomir along with the Great Mothers, who are the witches of Dathomir, kind of their progeny, I suppose. And yeah, I mean, that is an amazing finale there.
And what is that one springboard moment when Thrawn says, "Long live the Empire"?
Oh, Morgan Elsbeth says, "For Dathomir." But I believe there's going to be conflict there.
Right. But now that she was turned into one of the mystic mothers,
Yes.
that there's a plan there. As soon as they get back to the galaxy and they get back to Dathomir,
Yeah.
I think
there's gonna be a
the
fight.
witches have got a plan. They know where their home is. And once again, they're gonna protect their home.
Yep.
Now in the Acolyte, well, Osha has partnered with Chimera, and the introduction of Darth Plagueis. That is I think this is the biggest and most succinct springboard moment. Seeing Osha, who's turned to the dark side, with Chimera as they look out into the ocean, which is very, very violent. It comes splashing up through the rock face, and Darth Plagueis. We've got to see more of this. We've got to see more of where Darth Plagueis goes.
I wish, but maybe we'll see it in comics. Who knows? Yep. Now, Skeleton Crew, now that At-Aten has been discovered, how will that affect the galaxy?
Like I was saying before, they've already spent that money. The rebellion, they're gonna come down and see all the treasure and go, okay, X-Wings for you, X-Wings for you, you get an X-Wing, you get an X-Wing. But the best moment is when Wim looks up and sees that blockade runner screaming across the sky, and he knows that's where he wants to be. I can't wait for that second season. Disney Plus, don't let us down. Oh, wait, hold on. Scott Bauman in this guy chat is saying he was sad to see Morgan died.
Yeah. I love the character and the actress and her pedigree with Bruce Lee. Yeah. I really liked this character too. I thought she was very interesting, and the fact that they made her a great mother as well. She had that cool like fire sword, green fire sword.
For me, the character is superseded by this name, Morgan Elsbeth.
I think you need to let that go.
I can't let it go. That's just a non-Star Wars name. Morgan Elsbeth is not a Star Wars name.
I think it's better than Osha.
She's all about safety. She's all about safety, so it makes sense. But Osha... Okay, all right.
You can't come back. There's no comeback to that.
There is, but we only have so much time. And I know they focused a lot on her in the Trials of the Empire, and I love that. I love what they did with her there.
Tales of the Empire?
Tales of the Empire. What did I say?
Trials of the Empire. That's okay.
Tales of the Empire.
That's why I was just making sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, let's get into the overall message or the heart of each of these series. Okay. So let's start with Mandalorian.
So I feel like the big heart of these 3 series is the parental or mentor relationship between Din and Grogu. And also, a side note, and especially in season 3, how your religion or your creed shapes you.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a belief system.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I really loved watching that season 3 and relating it to how I grew up Catholic in Sunday school and all of that. There was lots and lots of similarities.
And I love the fact that they clarified Mandalorian. It's not a race.
Yes.
It's a creed.
It's a creed. Yep.
Okay, that's what we needed to hear.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. What do you see for the Book of Boba Fett?
Well, Richard, I think you should share what you see.
Be your own boss. Be your own boss. Boba Fett, he's been a bounty hunter for so long. He's seen how these clients treat him with such disrespect.
And he's laying down his life for these jobs.
Yeah, exactly, yes. And I think he had a lot of time to think in the Sarlacc.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He had some me time. So he said, okay, you know what? I got to be my own boss.
Yep.
I'm going to be a crime lord. And let's go back to Jabba's palace and see how Jabba's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no more Jabba? Well, Bib Fortuna? All right. I've seen what this guy can do. You're out of here.
Yes.
So he takes what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Not by killing. We don't condone that. But in the end, he is his own boss.
Well, and he also learns that it's not as easy as it seems.
No, no.
Not at all.
Yeah, and also I love the fact that he finds that family, a found family, like with the Tusken Raiders, can be as strong as a biological or bloodline family.
And I think that's a huge message in Star Wars. That keeps coming up. Like Star Wars Rebels, that was the main message.
Yeah, very much so,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe they should have called that like family.
I would say Skeleton Crew, that's also a similar message there. You have a found, really it's more about friendship. But I think eventually they'll all feel like they're family.
So I say be your own boss, but Jeff in the Sky Chat says be your own bosk.
Oh. Yep.
Call Mike Celestino. He'll love that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Scott Bauman says, in Star Wars, there are often redemption stories, but redemption equals death.
Like when Darth Vader redeemed himself by throwing Palpatine over, but then died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same with Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren came back and saved
Rey, yeah.
and then died.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Boba Fett also had to face his own death for the redemption, but thanks to the Bacta tank, he came back as Boba the White. Nice. Same with Ahsoka.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So I feel like this series, especially with Obi-Wan's journey, it's really about finding inner peace in a world of turmoil, because only when Obi-Wan really opens himself up to others, makes peace with Vader / Anakin, is he able to see Qui-Gon, who was there all along.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very, very good point.
Yeah.
All right. Andor.
Okay, I mean, this is all about Leia's line, the more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
Nice delivery.
Okay. And Nemec's manifesto really points this out. As Cassian is preparing to go back to Marva's funeral, he's listening to the manifesto, which is stating, random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy. Remember this, the Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks, it leaks, just like those star systems slipping through the fingers, right? Mm-hmm. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear.
That's kind of like the creed of all bullies.
Yeah.
Even admit it or not, that they're bullies because there's a lot of fear behind them.
And I know Mon Mothma was very upset that the Eye of Eldani, that his team got away with robbing the Empire, because that meant that the Empire was going to crack down on people. And she's like, oh no, all my star systems. But Luthen was like, no, that's good. We need the Empire to crack down so people realize that they're bad, rather than just stay sleeping and let the Empire creep in on them.
All right, Ahsoka.
All right, what do you think, Richard?
I say believe in yourself, because that was the whole message and story right behind she training Sabine, who kept doing I can't do it. But once Sabine started believing in herself, she could tap into the midichlorians and use the Force.
That's true.
And also with that, it's all about communication, because Sabine and Ahsoka didn't see eye to eye. Did they talk? No. They just held their grudges.
They did, yeah.
And they just didn't talk about what was on their mind.
And also, this series really lays out this first inkling of, we had like the Skywalker saga, right? And it was like the line of Skywalkers who had the Force. Well, in this series, it's really shown that the Force is all about practice and not necessarily talent.
All right, now let's move on to the Acolyte.
Okay, so I feel like the Acolyte is really about reconciling your past to move on in your life. Both May and Osha were so focused on their past that they couldn't have a nice life or think of a future without resolving that past. Also, the Jedi aren't always the good guys.
Yeah. Sorry, Jedi purists. All right, and in Skeleton Crew, it's all about friends. You'll make friends when you least expect it. You'll know they're good friends because they have your back.
Aww.
That is a really good friend who has your back. And even though Wim didn't really know KB, he stayed with her during that penultimate episode.
Right?
Penultimate?
Where is episode 6.
Okay,
so.
Episode 6, yes. And he stayed with her and he helped her.
Also, that also brings up another heart of the story here, is when Wim saves KB from total system shutdown, meaning he saves her life. He didn't know he was saving her life. He was just doing work, and he learned that you don't need to be a Jedi to be a hero.
Yeah, because he had the Jedi held in such high esteem. And he realizes, wait a minute, I'm not a Jedi, but I can be a hero too.
Yeah.
Comes in all shapes and sizes. All right, now, before we wrap this up, we gotta do our ranking. We gotta rank the finales by category.
Yeah, we tried to rank all 7 in orders, and it just wasn't working. So we're like, okay, which finale is, let's say, the most nostalgic? Maybe we'll do top 2-ish.
Okay. I would say for me, this goes to Mandalorian Season 2 with the arrival of Luke Skywalker.
I am going to second that as my number 1.
Okay. And then I would follow that up with, when it comes to nostalgia, you gotta go to Obi-Wan Kenobi, seeing Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. Oh, I love that scene so much. It was very poignant, it was sympathetic, and just to see these characters, these 2 characters, go at it once again, and we didn't think we would ever see this until A New Hope.
So my second most nostalgic is not Obi-Wan, it's Ahsoka. Because of Thrawn and the Night Sisters overlooking Dathomir, to me, that whole Heir to the Empire trilogy and all those books that I read growing up, those are more nostalgic to me.
Okay.
So I really love that.
All right, so where would you put the most dramatic finale?
Oh, come on. This one was too hard. Can I say all of them?
No, you can't. Mm-mm.
All right, then I'll go with Andor.
Andor's my number 1 too.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, Marva's funeral and that music.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Then I would say Obi-Wan Kenobi because of...
The most dramatic?
Yeah, most dramatic between that scene of Anakin looking through Darth Vader's helmet.
I would say Mandalorian Season 3 for me because of so much action and stuff happening. You know, you have things you've never seen before, like Mandalorians and troopers like flying around fighting each other. Loved it.
Okay, not the way I would have gone.
Well, no, this is my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. World building finale.
Most world building. Okay, sure.
Mandalorian Season 3.
Me too.
Because the Mandalorian, the title is not just Din Djarin anymore. Now it's Bo-Katan, and now we were seeing how the Mandalorians are now going to back Bo.
Mm-hmm.
And because they haven't had really a leader. The armorer is there, but she's not really the leader.
Okay.
She's the leader of the armory.
Right.
But now the world building continues with Bo-Katan.
Okay.
And we saw a lot of this in Star Wars Rebels, so you know how big this can get.
Well, the very fact that the Mandalorians are back in the galaxy as a force to be reckoned with, I think that's a huge world-building moment. And my second biggest world-building finale would be Ahsoka, because of the return of Thrawn and the Great Mothers to our Star Wars galaxy. And, you know, Thrawn is going to take it to the next level.
Okay. For my second choice, I would pick Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
Just because because Aten is no longer a mysterious planet. It's out there now. And which worlds will come and try to either protect it or take from it. And we're not just at Aten anymore, this little tiny bubble of a planet. This is now can spread throughout the galaxy.
Love it.
And now let's get to the last category. Just a rip-roaring good time.
Okay, my number 1 would be Skeleton Crew. Just because I think I saw it the most recently, and it was just fun, little smaller stakes, pirates and kids with great music. How can you go wrong?
You can't. For me, the Book of Boba Fett. Oh, just seeing the Rancor just rampage through the town and having this big creature that we've seen in Return of the Jedi, and then some video games and the courtship of Princess Leia. Now we're seeing what this thing can actually do on screen and in a live action TV show. My God, it was just so much fun.
I love that.
All right.
My second good time?
Yes. What is your second good time?
Mandalorian Season 1, I would say. It was fun.
I would say that as well.
Oh, okay.
Mandalorian Season 1. Just that really fun saloon shootout, and then going down to the lava river and trying to escape that way, but they're head off there by stormtroopers. IG-11 is going to sacrifice himself. Even though that was a sad moment, the action just kept going on and on and on. And then Din Djarin finally getting a backpack and then fighting fighting Moff Gideon and the TIE Fighter was just so much fun to watch.
Very cool.
Oh,
wow.
So there we have it. Breaking down each of the live-action Star Wars series. So, Skywalkers, let us know in the show post what you think of all of our categories, or if you have another category you'd like to present.
Let us know.
Now, how do we wrap up this segment? This is the way, or...
I'm a level 7 systems coordinator.
You are talking to a level 7 systems coordinator.
Shoutouts, Skywalker shoutouts. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout out. Who was photobombed? Shout out. Who was shared a post? Shout out.
So now this is one of my favorite parts of Skywalking through Neverland. It's thanking you, the Skywalking Force.
Yes.
You do so much to sponsor the show, to help the show in any way that you can. So let's now read the names of the elite Skywalking Force.
Thank you to Anthony Kakias,
Blessed Cheesemaker,
Bryn McKinnon,
Carl Fox,
Chica Fent,
Christopher Marino,
Courtney Turkel,
Dale Erdman,
Darren Irvine,
Don Glover,
Dave Kerwin,
Derek Beebe,
Garrett Sessions, Goldie Robb,
Glenn Stein,
Reynold Gobey,
Jeremy and Heather Hunt,
Joey Pittman, welcome to the Skywalking Force,
John Liang,
John Zoncanaro,
Jonathan Chiato,
Jordan Paley,
Julie Caruana,
James and Julie Gildersleeve,
Justin Smith,
Cato Toby Ryder,
Kelly Turkel,
Kristen Carr, Happiest Club on Earth,
Laura Bryce,
Leanne Nelson,
Meredith Duckworth,
Michael Corbett,
Michael Knipp,
Mike Ward,
Nancy Steinman,
Patrick Pine,
Patty Hammond,
Patty Nazarian,
Peter and Norma Heitman,
Reynold Gobey,
Ryan Wiltberger,
Sasha Barrios,
Scott Carmichael,
Scott Hume,
Taryn Bench,
Wesley Meekums,
William Magalio,
and
Win Patterson. Thank you, one and to all. Everything that you do for us does not go unappreciated. Thank you so much.
Well, that wraps up episode 500 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank all of you Skywalkers who listen and watch every single week. Once again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find it skywalkingthrough.neverland.com. And you can also find us on all socials at SkywalkingPod. I think we even have a Blue Sky account.
Do we have one on TikTok?
We do.
If we do, it's still there because TikTok lives. Hashtag TikTok lives. Now, do you have things that you want to share? Well, we do. So join us every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube as we share things we've done that week. We update you on our live appearances. There's one coming up. We can't reveal just yet. And we invite you Skywalkers to come on and tell us what you've done this week or that previous week, or something you want to share, something in your collection. This show is now yours as well.
Are you interested in our books? We have autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History Parts 1 and 2 and Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook. They are available now from skywalkingthrough.neverland.com/book. This is also the only place you can get the hardcover versions of Today in Star Wars History. Amazon Kindle stopped making them, so we have the only ones left. I think, Jeff, you got some last time we saw you.
Now, do you want to support Skywalking Through Neverland? Well, once again, consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. The Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions on the past Disney Plus shows, Agatha All Along, WandaVision,
Skeleton
Crew. This bonus content begins at only, get this, $5 a month. So head over there to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at all the options. And thank you. We can't say this again. We can't say this enough. We appreciate all your help.
We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Are you thinking of a trip to Disney parks or Universal or a Disney cruise? You can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. So check it out and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
And tell them that you are a level 7 systems coordinator. just tell them that, okay? Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network.
Skynet.
Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
The Max Effects Podcast,
The Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into this 500th episode.
And always remember, I would walk 500 episodes and I would watch 500 more just to be the man who watched 1,000 episodes and need 1,000 more.
And
Neverland on Alderaan. Do your clappies.
What's that?
Clappy claps.
Are we changing things for episode 500?
Yes.
No longer clappy claps? Now they're all, what'd you call them?
I said clappies. No? What's weird about this is, as much as I have this crush on Matt Lanter, my crush became a crush with the series Timeless. So when I was talking to him back then in 2011, I wasn't as Twitter-pated.
Oh. Now, did I say Goff Midian?
He might have. I don't know.
Or did I say Moff Gideon? Or Moff Gideon? Moff Gideon. That's for ADR purposes.
I'm going to put in my ring in the hat.
Okay.
My hat in the ring.
We know what you meant.
Yes. Okay.
All right. There you have it. There's our breakdown.
Wow.
I told you it's going to be a supersized episode.
I knew it would be about this much. Bruce. Thanks, Bruce.
Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.